Hey y'all, let's do a reading, shall we? I'm gonna do another pick a card because I think some of y'all have some ideas. Some like you're thinking about doing something. You're thinking about doing something, whether it's approaching someone, trying to get back with someone. We've talked about this a little bit in other readings, but I want to do a pick a card. If you're thinking about doing something, even if it's going back to school, or there's a lot of restart energy, like unfinished business stuff, whether it's with a person or with a career, going back to something. Or anyway, if that resonates with you, then this pick a card is for you. I'm gonna pick 2 automobiles for you to choose from, and then that automobile is going to be attributed to a card, and we're going to flip the card over and see whether it's a good idea that you have or a bad idea that you have. Now, it could be 2 bad ideas, and it could be 2 good ideas, or it could be a good idea and a bad idea. We don't know. But as soon as I'm done shuffling, we will pick the cards. Okay, I think we're good, actually. This is all brought to you by the 5 of Swords, by the way. Man, that's an ominous looking little thing. You got your ideas on doing something ominous, do you? Doing something you don't think is going to get a good reaction? What are you doing? Okay. Let's do... I'm not even going to put them down yet. It's the first 2 cards. Let's do... let's stick with EVs today because why not? Let's do a Tesla 3 and a new hybrid Prius. Why not? Either one of those would not be good for me, but Tesla or hybrid, you should pick by now. You should know which one you are. Tesla or Prius. And the Tesla will be heads and the Prius will be tails. It's heads. So pretty easy. Tesla and the Prius. All right. The card underneath is really calling to me. Queen of Cups. This is love related. Chariot. The Lovers. This is love related. 1000%. 9 of Cups. This is definitely for the person who thinks he's going to go back to an ex or soulmate that you have unfinished business with. Okay. Tesla people. Nope. Not a good idea. Not a good idea. I want to use the little animal deck. That's... You've been thinking about it too much and the time has come and gone. Let that person live their own life. Let that person have their own life. They don't need closure. They don't need nothing from you. Sorry. Sorry if I ruined your weekly plans, but sometimes there's a lot of grace in knowing when you should step away and not reconnect, because sometimes it can be kind of selfish. Okay? Are you reaching out to get back together with them for you or for them? Like, unless it's at least 50-50, you shouldn't do it. That fucking blows. Like, really. Like, be a gentleman. All right, so we do have the 10 of Cups. I think you blew this out of proportion. You want to start over. I think the reason that you walked away in the beginning and forever now or whatever, wherever you are, the reason you're far away from it is because you blew it out of proportion. Ace of Swords and the Fool. There is somebody else involved in your life that made this connection impossible, and you're sorry about it. Well, you know what? Me too. I'm sorry for you and for them. But listen, that's not a good enough reason. That is not a good enough reason, because it looks like you're going back to this connection that had its time and place in order to soothe your own conscience and or start over out of selfishness. But if that third party is still in your life, forget it. Forget it. If that third party made things impossible in the first place, what makes you think that it would be possible now? So listen, I say this with a caveat. This is what I'm reading for those folks who chose Tesla, who are thinking about getting back with their person or with reaching out to their person or whatever, okay? That being said, the timing is just wrong right now. You might think it's right, but the timing is wrong. Will the timing be right in the next year? I don't know. Will the timing be right in 5 years? I don't know. Right now, the timing is not right. And just let them have their peace. Okay? Just let them have their peace. Because this is all kinds of selfish. You want to start over. You want this. You've been miserable about it. Well, how have they been? If they've been having a great life, maybe you should rethink the whole situation. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about that. I'm really sorry to disappoint you. Y'all just have, like, one of the reasons that I came onto this platform, one of the reasons I started reading tarot was because I hope that there are some masculine energies who have the interest in tarot and who want to hear what they need to hear to evolve and to grow and to become, to come into this moment with intention rather than the sort of path of destruction, right? If that resonates with you at all, if you've been leaving a path of destruction behind you and you can count on a couple of hands how many times you've made girls cry in the last couple of years. I'm asking you as a friend to just hang out with us. Hang out with us here, and maybe something will come across, because you have so much potential to come into this masculinity. And I'll say this, y'all have incredible powers of manifestation and y'all have incredible powers of masculinity. But it's almost like, because the emotional intelligence isn't quite there yet, which is fine. You know, we're all on a spectrum and on a different level, and we are growing into many, many things throughout our entire lifetimes. There are things that 99-year-olds learn for the first time. So it's no shade that I'm throwing at all. But what I'm saying is that with the emotional intelligence being what it is, the power of the masculinity that you actually hold might be misused. It's like having 1,000 horsepower and only having ever driven 140 horsepower before. So if you've been driving around, I don't even know, a Ford Taurus your whole life, and that's all you're expected to do, and you meet someone who's an incredible soul connection with you, that's 1,000 horsepower vehicle. that you don't know how to drive. And so you're going to be reckless with it. I get it. It's the way it works. We don't expect you to be able to drive 1,000 horsepower vehicle. A vehicle with 1,000 horsepower. We don't expect you to drive that first out of the gate. No. But if you want to slow down and figure it out and go on some tracks and really get a feel for it, that's what I'm implying that this is. So this is a little bit of a testing ground for the masculine energy to understand how important that emotional energy and emotional intelligence is in all of your connections, but especially in your connection with yourself as you really fully embody the level of masculinity that you are. That you are. It's not even disconnected from you. It's not something that you have. It's that you are. We're just not at the level where we can drive it straight right now. So, that's why I'm here. And so if it sounds like I'm being rough and it sounds like I'm throwing shade, it's not my intention, but it is to wake you up a little bit to the situation. And right now, what I'm saying for Tesla people is you drove pretty fucking recklessly with that vehicle with 1,000 horsepower. And there was some damage done, but now they're okay. They're in peace. And for you to come in now is pretty selfish. You already told them you wanted to be out of their life. You already told them you couldn't be the man that you're supposed to be for them. Leave them alone. Okay? That being said, that might change in the future. But right now, and it's indifferent, you could be watching this in a month, then it's for you in a month. But, okay. That's enough about y'all. I'm sorry. But I have utmost respect for where you are right now. And I hope that something I say resonates with you a little bit. It's hard for me to even get the words out because my vocabulary and my emotional intelligence is kind of coming along on the ride for you all a little bit because I'm in the car too. Okay, so I'm with you. All right. Prius, folks. I think you might have a shot. You might definitely have a shot. It's not, again, I think it might be a little selfish. It might be coming from a selfish place that you want to get this connection, but I think you might have more of a chance. I think you're probably a little bit closer to their level right now than either you were or you have been. Let's go ahead and clarify that a little bit. The cards are like, whatever. Cards are really weird right now. Ugh, every time I finish one of these readings, my shoulders hurt so much. I need one of those, I need a little, I don't know, heating pad or something for my shoulders. Because I'm not only shuffling, but I'm kind of hunched over. I just need to get better posture is what I need to do. But there's a lot of energy coming out of these hands too, so throw hands somebody. I'm not almost here. Okay. So we have the Wheel of Fortune. So I think the timing is going to be, okay. The timing's going to be as right as it can be right now, but it ain't perfect. I think the timing's as right as it can be, but there are definitely some There's some mines. So it's a little bit of a minefield. You want to be very careful. This plays very nicely with the reading that I did earlier, where you really want to be intentional about meeting with someone, about talking with someone, about what you say, and you really want to plan it out. So, yes, it's the right time, but beware of this sort of static energy, or beware of an idea that might suggest you can just go ahead and make the offer and everything works out. That's not the case. You might have to really woo this person back. And I say that you might also have to make, like, what I suggest is that you make plans. So I think things are going to go a lot better for you, or the opportunity is to be better for you if you make plans like, okay, I know that she works really late on whatever day. I'm going to call her on this day instead. I'm going to ask her if she wants to go to dinner. I'm going to call her instead of text her, right? Super important. Just a little tip for y'all too, you guys. Like, if you're serious about a girl, you just go ahead and call her, please. So that shows a lot of intent and intention. So call her, invite her to do something, and be very specific about it, and come through and be on time, and be really, really specific about what you want to do. And then in your mind, have the next steps already planned out. So, okay, so I'm going to call her this day. You call her that day, you talk to her, you ask her to go out on this day specifically, and specific dates, and she says yes. Okay, so then you know that while you're at the date, you're going to talk about XYZ because that's really important to you. And then you're going to ask her specific questions about this. I mean, you want to get detailed as you possibly can, because this is part of your manifestation journey. So if you really want this, you have to not only prove it to her, but her being the feminine energy, it could be a man or a woman or whatever. And you have to prove it to the universe. So you have to be very intentional, and you have to be well thought out in the details. And I'll tell you this, if you don't think it's worth that, that's the devil talking to you, but go ahead. If you don't think it's worth the extra effort of planning it down to the detail, then you're probably not at this place where the timing is right. So that being said, plan it to the detail, make sure that everything is planned out, and then be flexible with it. So have that itinerary, and then have the next date in your mind, and ask her on the next date. If she says no, or if something goes sideways, then be flexible and ready to roll with the punches. Don't get upset. Get flexible and ready to roll with the next thing. But having that intention will mean the world to the energies and to her. Don't tell her about the plan, but just go with it, okay? There's a lot to be said for knowing something and sitting in silence and shaking your head. Like, you don't always have to talk about everything all the time, okay? That's for everyone. Okay, so that. I think you have a really good chance. I'm not saying it's going to be long term. I'm not saying it's going to be forever. I'm not saying that it's going to work out fine, or that you're not going to find a fault with her down the road. But I'm saying that you've got a good chance in having this idea fulfilled if you're patient with it. You make a plan, you go for it, you're intentional. You've got a real chance. Just don't stay in that static devilly energy that gives you the Five of Pentacles as well. Don't leave yourself out in the cold. I think at the last minute, this guy definitely, but at the last minute, you're probably going to wonder, should I actually do this? Like right before you call, you're going to wonder, should I actually do this? Well, it's free will, but if you chose Prius, then you definitely should. If you chose Tesla, then you definitely, I don't think you should. I don't think you should. I'm sorry, but I'm going to give it to you straight. that's what I'm here for. I don't like, there's no point in, I'm going to tell you what I really think you should do based on what I get the pull from. And it doesn't look good. I think it would be really selfish to go in for you Tesla people. Okay. Let me pull some from my little fire deck here to see if there's any connective energy, because, you know, this could be you, but this could be you. Give it a couple of months. Okay. And this could be you now, but if you wait too long, it's this. You see what I'm saying? So there's definitely connective energies right now, and it depends on what timeline you are. Like, not timeline like matrix stuff, but it depends on where you are, what's going on. And what we just did with the coin flip and the choosing the different cars was figure out which one you're on now. But that could change if you give it too much time. Okay. I hope I explained that pretty well, but I probably didn't. I don't know. I'm very vocal about this particular aspect. Yeah, don't, you know, you're going to put your new car around a tree, and that's what y'all have been doing. And, we just need to figure out how to drive that car. Okay. All right. Oy vey. Okay. So I have temperance. Duh. Underneath. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So having a plan is really, really important. The thing that ties these two together is to know, especially with the temperance card underneath, is to know that there is a lot of love there. I mean, it's weird to say, but even if you haven't talked to this person, if they did tell you certain things, or if there was talk of love exchanged, like, it's definitely there for them. And I think it's definitely there for you too. Did you put your actions behind it? Because you really have to show a feminine energy. You have to prove your love to them with action. You can't just say it. You really have to prove it with action. And I think, you know, if it's harder and harder to do that if you come from a family or a dynamic that doesn't easily express those feelings with action, right? Because you're kind of figuring it out on your own. And so maybe this person meant that to you. Maybe this person, you saw the potential that they could show you how to act in love, and maybe they can, but there is definitely a lot of love there on both sides, I think. So that's your reading. As always, like, this is free will, and this isn't free will, but there is free will involved. So of course you have, and they have, the opportunity to blow this up, for you to blow this up, and they have the opportunity to say no, even if you're coming in at the right time, saying the right things. They still have the opportunity to say no. And right now, I think that they are justified in that. But, you know, maybe like I suggested yesterday in the reading, just try again if they say no. That's your reading. I hope it helped. I'm really in it for y'all, and I'm really rooting for you. And the universe is too. The universe wants these connections to happen, but in the right way. And I would say for y'all, the right way is not now. You're in a place where you're in it for yourself. And if I could be totally wrong, and you could be screaming at me right now, I could be totally wrong, but I'm just saying, think about it. Maybe I'm a little bit right. If you think that their life is going to be better with you in it right now, then go right ahead. But if you did identify with Tesla, then there we are. Anyway, thank you so much, you guys.